Ladies and gentlemen, how is everyone doing? This is your host with the most, the one and only. And this video is specially dedicated to all of my bandaholics. So it's been a while since I've actually done an informal off-script video, and this is one of them. And really, this is just a question and answer format because you guys have asked me a ton of questions, and some of those questions have been repeated. Namely, where do I get my watch band holders? How did I construct and organize my band wall? Do I keep all of my bands? Well, if you want to find that out and more, this video is definitely for you. So this is going to be a really quick one, and I really wanted to have a face-to-face conversation with you guys because I feel that a lot of you bandaholics are encountering the same problem I encountered when I initially started, and that is, how do you store all of your bands? So for the record, I did count all of my bands, and I have 392 official first-party Apple Watch bands. 392. Now, that is crazy to think, especially from my humble beginnings of my very first band that I purchased, which was this one right here. So I started out as, the typical ordinary silver Series 2 with the white sport band, and I slowly got intrigued by the dark side, and this is the band that started it all. Now, as far as where do I store them, initially it started in a shoebox, but I knew I had to expand from that. So then I ventured out into Amazon and I bought this cardboard holder. I don't have it anymore, but it was 10 bucks and it stored about 6 or 7. But I quickly started to see that, man, my collection was getting out of hand and I would have to buy, 30, 40 of those if I wanted to store all of them. So I needed something more practical. And that is when I went over on Etsy and my favorite seller, Papo Store, sells these exact holders right behind me. Now, what's important to know is he has 2 distinct styles and he uses a 3D printer in order to do this. So if you guys want, I'm going to include all the links down below. Hit up my guy and make sure you use my code and let him know I sent you, and you may get a little bit shaven off of your final price, especially if you make a bulk order. Trust me, my guy over at Papo Store is one of the sweetest sellers I've ever dealt with. He's super understanding, extremely fast shipping, great communication, and best of all, it doesn't even have to be black like these holders behind me. They can be white. And what's really cool is he can also make a 3D print of whatever you want at the top of the holders. So in my case, he actually was the one that offered to write my logo 3D printed at the very top. And I just think it's the cherry on top on my band wall. Just says the one and only with an Apple logo. I think it's a really nice touch. So once again, if you guys want to buy or invest into some of these holders so that you can start hanging some up on your wall yourself, hit up to Etsy and hit up my guy over at Papo Store and make sure you use my code found in the video description for a little bit off. Now, of course, this isn't the only solution out there to storing your bands. As a matter of fact, my good friend Mike and I continuously have conversations about bands and the future of our collections. He is actually making a prototype on a more seamless design that I think looks kind of rad. Now, I haven't gotten the green light from him yet. He's starting to finalize the final product on his 3D printer. Once he gives me the green light, I will advertise his holders on my Twitter and on my socials. So now would be a great time to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, as that is primarily where I post a ton of channel news, updates, polls, and giveaways. And also a quick honorable mention, one of my previous band holder winners from one of my giveaways, mi tocayo, Juan Manuel, which, by the way, that word tocayo in Spanish is just a name for someone else who shares your identical name. And he not only happens to have the name Juan, or Juan as Americans would say, but he has the full Juan Manuel. So anyway, shout out to him. He tweeted at me over on Twitter his solution for his band holders, and his is a work of art. I mean, just look at this screenshot that he sent me and that he posted on Twitter. It's a circular design, and me as a math nerd, I instantly thought of pi. It's very artistic, it's very creative, and if you guys want something similar to that, make sure you follow him over on Twitter and DM him. And to end this video on a final note, sometimes some people do ask me, Well, don't you think it's a waste of money? Or like, why would you spend so much money on bands? Don't you think that's overkill, 392 bands? It might be, but really what I did with my bands is somewhat of an art form, what I think, because now every morning I get to wake up and make a decision. It's almost one of the first things I do aside from texting my girlfriend and then petting my cat Bean in the morning. Probably the third thing I do is I get up and I see all this color, all these different styles organized in a nice and neat, concise manner. And I feel like that does a lot to the brain. I want to say that in a book that I just recently read, what colors do to the brain, especially once you initially wake up. Just seeing that enormous splash of color just does something to the brain, and it definitely puts me in a good mood. Whether that's bands, whether that's some kind of artwork, or maybe you have a shoe collection and there's a plethora of color. It's the same idea. Not only that, but I love having the versatility of having my watch look different every single day. As a matter of fact, in my math class just yesterday, a guy that sits behind me tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, I noticed you switch out your watch band every single day. Are those official Apple Watch bands?" And I said, "My boy, you gotta subscribe to TheJuan&Only." And after that, the whole entire class kind of sort of figured I was some kind of celebrity. And trust me, I'm not. I'm just some guy on the internet with an obsession with tech. But that's the reason, guys. Not only is it for fashion and to slap something different onto the wrist every single day, but it's just a splash of creativity and color that really induces happiness and positive emotions in my brain, at least. And so I hope it does the same for you guys. Don't even think about what it does to your bank account, because trust me, there's about $25,000, if not more, up on my wall. That's okay though. It is a work of art, and I plan to expand on it until Apple stops selling Apple Watch bands. So guys, let me know what you guys thought about this video. I really do enjoy bringing this face-to-face content with you guys. I feel like it's a lot funner when I get to go off script and I'm just pretending like I'm talking face-to-face with you and every single tech and band enthusiast out there. So if you want more content just like this, drop a comment down below. The best way to say thank you to me is by dropping a like, and consider hitting that red subscribe button if you really dig my content, because you know I always keep it real with you guys. I'm gonna let you guys know if something is worth it or not. And I like to say that I differentiate myself from other YouTubers because I like going into the nitty-gritty and not just brush over onto the surface level. I really like to go in depth and put myself in the perspective of the average consumer, the average student, the average professional, and give you guys that perspective as well. So guys, once again, I am TheJuan&Only. If you guys could help me reach 100,000 subscribers, that is my goal within 1 year from now, and hopefully, God willing, I'll reach there. All right, guys, I'm clocking out for now, but I cannot wait to catch you all in the next video.